and thank you for being with us. Broadcasting live from Chiapas, Mexico, I'm Ana Acevedo. It's 9:30 a.m. Mexican time, and let's start with Mexico news. Following the phone call between Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum and United States President Donald Trump, which was prompted by Trump's comments regarding the possibility of ground operation against criminal groups inside Mexican territory, the Mexican Confederation of National Chambers of Commerce, Service and Tourism, known as CONENACO Servitur, formally present its position on the current state of the bilateral relationship. The organization states that the relationship between Mexico and the United States must be built on the principle of coordination without subordination. In an official statement, Octavio de la Torre, president of Concanaco Servitur, warned that unilateral action must not be allowed because increasing political and diplomatic tension directly impacts investment, tourism, and supply chains. He emphasized that the product sector will be recognized as a fundamental interlocutor in managed stability and legality, especially for the benefit of companies and family owned business that generate employment across the country. De la Torre underlined that cooperation between both nations does produce concrete results, as long as it conducts with mutual respect and legal certainty. In this context, he proposed that the bilateral agenda will be translated into verifiable action against criminal networks, giving priority to the production of drug traffic and illicit flows. Such a measure, he argued, will protect both local communities and the formal economy. The business letter also stated that legal trade and invest require certain and warn against rhetorical escalation that could harm strategic sectors such as tourism, supply chains, and employment. He further highlighted the importance of the productive sector participation as an ally in building mechanisms of economy and territorial dialogue that strengthen cooperation without compromising natural sovereignty. With this position, Concanaco Servitur reaffirmed its call for the Mexico-United States relationship to be governed by respect, coordination, and shared responsibility, ensuring economic stability and security for Mexican families. Mexico City head of government, Clara Brugada, stated that her administration has no interest in the property where the Franciscano shelter previously operated and ruled out any real estate development on that site. She explained that the relocation of dogs and cats was carried out in compliance with a judge's ruling, after authorities confirmed causes of animal abuse and the existence of a clandestine crematorium operating under irregular conditions. Rugada presented images showing the condition in which the animals were found and described the spread of false information as deeply concerning, noting that the situation was unacceptable. She emphasized that the rescue dogs are not receiving proper nutrition, medical attention, vaccination, and continuous care in self facilities with established welfare routine that they did not previously have. The major announcement that her administration will introduce a legislative initiative to regulate animal shelters and construct a new shelter scheduled to be completed in 4 months. At the same time, Mexico City Secretary of the Environment, Julia Alvarez, denied claim that dogs found on land associated with a Utopia project in Gustavo Amadero were transferred to anti-rabies center, clarifying that they will instead be sent to the Animal Welfare Brigade. Meanwhile, Mexico City Chief Prosecutor Belta Alcalde stated that the shelter property was not seized as the intervention focused solely on protecting the animal and removing them from an environment that did not guarantee their survival. She detailed that investigators discovered an incinerator used for animal remains in poor condition, without sanitary control, evidencing dangerous and irregular handling of corpses. In addition, authorities confirmed the absence of adequate record regarding animal intake, length of stay, and deaths. Through this action, the Mexico City government seeks to guarantee animal welfare and establish a regulatory framework to prevent abuse and abandonment in animal shelters. And now, continue with more news. Mexico National Security Cabinet and the Michoacan State Prosecutor Offices confirmed that César Alejandro Sepúlveda Arellano, known as El Botox, has been classified as a high priority target for arrest due to his alleged responsibility in multiple crimes, including the murder of lime industry leader Bernardo Bravo Manriquez, which occurred in October of the last year. The announcement was made during a press conference led by Mexico's Secretary of Security and Citizen Protection, Omar Garcia Harfuch, who was questioned about a video released over the weekend by Sepúlveda Arellano, the alleged leader of the criminal group known as Los Blancos de Troya. In the video, addressed to President Claudia Sheinbaum and to Garcia Harfuch himself, Sepúlveda demanded the release of his wife and daughter, claiming that they have been detained illegally. Garcia Harfuch reminded the public that El Botox has previously been captured by the Mexican Army in 2018, but has later released. The current faces arrest warrants for homicide and extortion, as well as multiple complaints filed with different prosecutor offices for the harm caused to the population. He will be detained by the security institution. Garcia Harfuch, Michoacan State Prosecutor, said this will be unacceptable. We'll be back after a break.
ContraPeso Noticias.
El lado honesto de la noticia.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Síguenos en todas nuestras redes sociales.
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias. Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
La chula sigue ContraPeso Noticias.
El viento sopla historias de madrugada.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Con voces de pueblo y su corazón. Aquí en Chiapas traen la verdad. Relevantes historias, pura claridad. Las voces calladas aquí tienen lugar.
ContraPeso Noticias, el sistema informativo de la Asociación de Radio, Televisión y Medios Digitales.
El Instituto Hispano te ofrece nuevas licenciaturas y maestrías. Licenciatura en Pedagogía, Criminología y Criminalística, Derecho y Litigación, Maestría en Planeación Financiera y Fiscal, Ciencia de la Educación y Educación Especial, en plan cuatrimestral y modalidad mixta. Contamos además con las mejores instalaciones y el mejor equipo académico para tu futuro. Tenemos la mejor opción para ti. Inscripciones abiertas. Comunícate al 961 64 15 41 y 961252507.
Instituto Hispano Jaime Sabines, formando valores para toda la vida.
Muebles. El mejor precio, servicio y calidad es nuestro distintivo. Cotice hoy mismo al 961-2127-068. Por WhatsApp al 961-279-4168.
En este noticiero que sabe escuchar, desde la sierra llega el clamor, se alza la noticia como un tambor. Montañas y ríos saben murmurar que lo importante aquí viene a informar.
Ya conoces al Teletón. Tal vez has visitado alguno de nuestros 27 centros. O conoces a alguien a quien le cambió la vida con sus terapias. Quizás conozcas el Hospital Infantil Teletón de Oncología o alguna familia que encontró esperanza en este lugar. Nos conoces en cada espacio que ha cambiado para ser más accesible para todos. Contigo hemos logrado cambiar historias, deportes e incluso la manera en la que hablamos. Nos conoces porque juntos lo hemos cambiado todo. Y prepárate, porque todavía hay mucho más por cambiar. Teletón, orgullosamente tercos.
Si buscas calidad y confianza y refacciones para vehículos cuatrimoto y racers, Outdoors es la mejor opción. Acompáñanos, estamos ubicados en la Plaza Cañahueca.
Si lo tuyo es la velocidad, la aventura y los terrenos difíciles, necesitas tener tu cuatrimoto o side by side en perfectas condiciones. Outdoors es tu mejor aliado, ofreciéndote calidad, confianza y los mejores repuestos para que nada detenga tu ruta. Desde refacciones especializadas hasta los accesorios que potencian tu experiencia, aquí encontrarás todo lo que necesitas para que cada salida sea inolvidable. Porque sabemos que la adrenalina no espera, Outdoors te brinda productos resistentes, duraderos y listos para el desafío. ¿Buscas piezas para tu racer? ¿Necesitas accesorios para mejorar el rendimiento de tu vehículo deportivo? En Outdoors lo tienes todo. Con su amplia gama de productos, la única preocupación que tendrás será decidir cuál será tu próximo destino. No dejes que los límites te detengan. Contacta a Outdoors 938-124-8046 y descubre por qué son la mejor opción para quienes viven con intensidad. Outdoors, donde la adrenalina y la calidad se encuentran.
ContraPeso Noticias.
El lado honesto de la noticia.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Síguenos en todas nuestras redes sociales.
Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias. Somos ContraPeso Noticias.
ContraPeso Noticias.
La chula sigue ContraPeso Noticias.
El viento
Yo sigo a
sopla
ContraPeso
historias de madrugada.
ContraPeso Noticias.
Con voces de pueblo y su corazón. Aquí en Chiapas traen la verdad. Relevantes historias, pura claridad. Las voces calladas aquí tienen lugar.
ContraPeso Noticias, el sistema informativo de la Asociación de Radio, Televisión y Medios Digitales.
El Instituto Hispano te ofrece nuevas licenciaturas y maestrías. Licenciatura en Pedagogía, Criminología y Criminalística, Derecho y Litigación, Maestría en Planeación Financiera y Fiscal, Ciencia de la Educación y Educación Especial, en plan cuatrimestral y modalidad mixta. Contamos además con las mejores instalaciones y el mejor equipo académico para tu futuro. Tenemos la mejor opción para ti. Inscripciones abiertas. Comunícate al 961 64 15 41 y 96125266507.
Instituto Hispano Jaime Sabines, formando valores para toda la vida.
Muebles. El mejor precio, servicio y calidad es nuestro distintivo. Cotice hoy mismo al 961-2127-068. Por WhatsApp al 961-279-4168.
En este noticiero que sabe escuchar, desde la sierra llega el clamor, se alza la noticia como un tambor. Montañas y ríos saben murmurar que lo importante aquí viene a informar.
Ya conoces al Teletón. Tal vez has visitado alguno de nuestros 27 centros. O conoces a alguien a quien le cambió la vida con sus terapias. Quizás conozcas el Hospital Infantil Teletón de Oncología o alguna familia que encontró esperanza en este lugar. Nos conoces en cada espacio que ha cambiado para ser más accesible para todos. Contigo hemos logrado cambiar historias, deportes e incluso la manera en la que hablamos. Nos conoces porque juntos lo hemos cambiado todo. Y prepárate, porque todavía hay mucho más por cambiar.
Telecommunication company Telcel reported that its mobile line registration platform include additional security measures to protect user data, following complaints from the specialists and customer regarding an alleged vulnerability that may have exposed personal information belonging to millions of people after the mandatory registration of all mobile lines came into effect nationwide. In an official statement, the company assured that each user received a unique code by SMS to access only their own information and link their lines, emphasizing that the process is secure and that personal data remains protected. The Telecommunication Regulatory Commission acknowledged that system interruption occurred during the initial phase of registration due to the high volume of users, but clarified that it maintained direct communication with service provider to ensure proper system operation. Journalist Ignacio Gómez Villaseñor revised that the campaign originally published by the ex account Telefonías Unlimited, stating that the issue represents a critical security vulnerability on Telcel's portal that may have left exposed data such as identity records, CURP, tax identification numbers, and email addresses. According to his explanation, the system allows access to information without requiring password or verification codes, creating the possibility of mass data extraction by cybercriminals. Gómez Villaseñor attributed the problem to the rulish approval of the mandatory mobile registration law without sufficient preparation by the private sector, society, and government. Regarding Telcel's statement, he criticized the company for failing to offer an apology for the initial data exposed and warned for future risks, arguing that the measure implemented may not be enough to prevent future attacks. This episode raised the debate over digital security and the urgent need to guarantee robust process that protect personal information in Mexico. We now send greens to all the radio stations that rebroadcast ContraPeso Noticias across the region. 101.5 La Multicultural de Suchiapa, Radio Flores Magón, Play Hits en San Cristóbal de las Casas, Radio Morena en El Peral, Voz de Alerta en Huixla, en Salto de Agua, From Villa Comaltitlán a Comaltitleca, La Pegadora, Radio Canoas, Radio Esmeralda, La Rancherita, La Pichanchera, La Mera Mera, La Cultural Radio, La Super Romántica, y no coso 4 True, La Pegadora, and Radio Conexión, and Radio Migrante. Grow your business with us and reach a broad, engaged audience. At ContraPeso Noticias, we deliver reliable, high-quality information and provide a unique platform for your business, product, or service to reach thousands of people. Our diverse audience closely follow the most important news, guaranteeing meaningful exposure. Advertisements with us offer rich credibility, trust, and direct impact with customers who are genuinely interested in what you offer. We adapt for your needs with flexible advertising packages designed to maximize your marketplace. Don't miss the opportunity to connect with more clients and strengthen your brand. Contact us today at 981 829 0201 and discover how we can help your business grow. Enjoy a unique stay in Cancun and Torre Caribe, located in an excellent area near Paradise Beaches, local food markets, and shopping center. Room available start at 220 Mexican pesos per night, with rates subject to seasonal changes. Take advantage to our special promotion. Mention ContraPeso Noticias when you call and receive 15% off your tier night. Ask about availability and find the perfect option for your trip. For more information and reservation, call 961 353 6072. Make your stay unforgettable. And we're back moving on to international news. United States President Donald Trump stated on Sunday, January 11, 2026, that his administration is evaluating the possibility of taking military action against Iran following reports of severe repression against anti-government protesters in the Islamic Republic. It is starting, it seems, Trump said while aboard Air Force One when asked whether Iran had crossed a red line after the killing of demonstrators. Trump confirmed that the U.S. military is reviewing very strong options and that a determination will be made shortly. However, he also revealed that Iran leader had contacted him seeking negotiation, stating that a meeting is being prepared, while cautioned that we may have to act first. The protests in Iran, driven largely by the country's economic crisis, have left at least 600 people dead and more than 10,600 detained over a period of 2 weeks, according to the human rights activist news agency based on the United States. Of those killed, 496 were protesters and 48 were members of security forces. Videos circulating online show new demonstrations in Tehran and other cities despite widespread internet shutdown and disruption to phone services. The Iran government warned that both the United States military and Israel will be considered legitimate targets if Washington decides to intervene to protect demonstrators. Abrogos organization and activists expressed concern that the information blackout will be encouraged Hernan function with Iran's security services to intense the crackdown. Trump reiterated that his administration remains willing to help the freedom of the Iranian people as it continues to receive constant reports and evaluate potential measures in the coming days. And now, continue with more international news. The government of 8 countries across the region expressed their rejection of Sunday of a decree signed by Honduras President Xiomara Castro, ordering a general recounting of the November 3 election, in which businessman Nastri Asfura, age 67, backed by Donald Trump, was declared the winner. Honduras National Electoral Council officially proclaimed Asfura president on December 24, following an election marked by allegations of fraud and a minimal margin over candidate Salvador Narray. The decree was approved exclusively by ruling party lawmakers, both full and alternative members, without allowing participation by the opposition. This led legal experts and the Organization of American States to describe the measure as illegal. In response, the governments of Argentina, Bolivia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, the Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and Guatemala issued a point statement reaffirming their recognition of the authority of the National Electoral Council and the official result. The signatory country note that the election has been validated by international observation mission and urged Honduran politicians forced to promote dialogue, respect democratic order, and guarantee a peaceful transition. Meanwhile, Castro argued that the Electoral Council would justifiably refuse to review thousands of telechats containing inconsistencies and request a meeting of direct phone call with Trump to discuss the matter. The controversy intensified over the United States Office of Western Hemisphere appears warned that any attempt to illegally overturn the result will carry serious consequences. Asfura is scheduled to take office on January 27 amid a political climate marked by tension and growing questions regarding the legitimacy of the electoral process. Wildfire in Argentina's Chubut province have devastated more than 21,000 hectares since mid-December, an area equivalent to the size of the city of Buenos Aires, according to preliminary data released by Greenspace. Hernán Giardini, forest coordinator for the organization, reported that the main fire zones were located in Puerto Patriada, El Hoyo, and Epuyén, where blazes were intentionally insane in January 2 and consumed approximately 12,000 hectares. Forensic examination confirmed the presence of accelerants, and the incidents were reported to judicial authorities. Another wildfire spread violently inside the Los Alerces National Park burned 6,000 hectares of ancient trees, while an additional 3,000 hectares were lost in El Turbio. Although firefighters have managed to contain roughly 90% of the active fire, both Greenpeace and the Federal Volunteer Firefighters of Chubut described the disaster as an ecocide, warning that the damage will not be recoverable for at least 50 years. Extreme weather conditions, prolonged drought, high temperature, strong wind, and the presence of exotic pine trees contribute to the rapid spread of the flames. In recent hours, temperature drop of 17 degrees and continuous rainfall helped reduce fire intensity, offering some relief to emergency crews. However, the crisis has been worsened by several budget cuts. National park workers report having only 400 wildflowers available to cover 5 million hectares, when at least 700 are required. The government of President Javier Milei reduced the fire management service budget by 78% in 2024 and eliminated the National Fire Fund in 2025 for 2026, an additional reduction of 71.6% if projected, despite last year making the worst wildfire season in 3 decades. Thousands of demonstrators took to the street across multiple cities in the United States to protest the immigration policy of President Donald Trump administration following the killing of a woman by an immigration and customs enforcement agent in Minneapolis and the shooting and injury of 2 people by another agent in Portland. The protests are recorded in Washington, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Reading, Texas, Kansas, New Mexico, Ohio, and Florida, and were organized by the Invisible Network and other groups under the slogan Eyes Out for Good, in memory of the victim, Renee Good, a mother of 3 children. A coalition of migrant rights organizations organized by a really near the location of Good's killing demanded an end to lethal terror in our streets. Organizations including Voto Latino, the ACLU, and the Disappear in America campaign joined the demonstration, calling for the reduction of ICE presence in city and greater accounting for its agents. The process is said within the largest immigration enforcement operation in the Twin Sisters cities since the start of the Trump administration. The government defended the incident as act of self-defense, claiming that drivers attempt to use their vehicle as weapon against agents. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Rowe urged protesters not to take Trump's bait and to keep the demonstration peaceful. Police Chief Brian O'Hara reported that 29 people were arrested on Friday outside a hotel hosting ICE personnel and 1 officer was injured. U.S. lawmakers demanded a full investigation into Good's killing, challenged to efficient policies, and even impeachment proceedings against Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. In response, the White House defended the agent action while ICE Director Todd stated that the agency will continue arresting what he described as the worst illegal foreign officers in Minnesota and other states. That concludes this segment of today's international coverage. Thank you for staying with us here on ContraPeso Noticias. We appreciate your trust and your time. Remember, this is ContraPeso Noticias.